Maybe Sean Hochuley's the only referee in the league with the guts to throw the flag on the great and powerful Wizard of Tommy. Hey, look.
Nobody else yells at referees like that other than Tom Brady. Nobody. You can't come up with a quarterback that does it. That's where I don't love it.
Let's put this in context.
Yeah.
Last week, and I assume it was on the Let's Go podcast, he talked about how he's a pain in the ass for officials and how he gets a little heated, and he claimed he doesn't get roughing the passer calls, that he doesn't get, special treatment. And these referees aren't living in a vacuum. Sean Hochuley has access to the same information the rest of us do, and you just have to wonder whether or not there was some thought given to how do I handle this guy if he decides he's going to turn his wrath toward me, if he decides he's going to try to bully me in some way. I mean, Brady's a big guy. He's as big as you. He's 6'5". He can be imposing. And maybe Sean Hochuley decided after he heard the things Tom Brady said last week, I'm not going to let this guy push me around. I'm not going to let him get in my face. He gets in my face, I'm going to throw the flag. And, he may have talked to people at the league office, may have talked to his dad. Hey, Dad, you did this for years. How would you handle somebody like this who's trying to intimidate you into giving him the calls that he wants? What would you do? I'd throw the flag on his ass at some point. Yeah. So my point is, Tom Brady may only have himself to blame for running his mouth about it last week.
Sure.
And putting something out there that Sean Hochuley maybe processed and reacted to, and that may have been the thing that provided the foundation for the flag that came on Sunday.
He's the only quarterback I've ever seen in history that consistently does it. That's where I would just go. Of course it was going to get called at some point, and yeah, it's become a famous thing, and like you said, he's kind of publicized it himself. That's where I look like, yeah, he didn't do himself any favors there. But again, no other quarterback or player really has the guts to do that to a referee because they'd be afraid of getting penalized. That's why they don't. Brady has done it repeatedly knowing he's Tom Brady and that they probably won't throw the flag. And that's where it's a little different. And again, we're in a taunting era and all of that. You're going to yell at the referee to that extent where, again, not a forcible blow to the head. This is where we got to get this through our not forcible. He tried to put his head into Tom Brady's chest. What everybody got to get a clue here is these people are big, and there's a big helmet on their head. So they can't necessarily always gauge, where I think my head is, I forgot, really my helmet's 3 inches above that and maybe could hit the chin or do anything like that. So that's where...
I disagree with you. That should have been flagged.
I would never call that.
I disagree with you.
I would never.
You wouldn't call somebody ripping out the quarterback's heart and showing it to him either. Well, you wouldn't call 90% of the ones that are called.
Blow. That's just not a forcible blow at all.
He put he struck him with the helmet and it hit him in the chin. We've seen far less than that flagged.
That doesn't mean it's right. That doesn't mean it's right. It's still a horrible call.
I think it's a violation. I think it's a violation of the rule as it's written. There's like 7 different ways you can rough the passer, and that to me, they have called far less than that this year. I can understand.
Mike. I know
why he took the helmet. And hey, look, we said the other day. Hang on. We said the other day he chooses to wear that flouncy little chin strap that doesn't give him any protection there. So if he does take a helmet, it's going to hit his chin. It's going to bust his lip. And the helmet came right up underneath. A lot of times guys will say, "What should I have done differently?" I don't know. Just don't do what you did. That's what they hear all the time. You go in a different way where the helmet isn't in a position where it can slide up the pads and pop a guy in the chin.
Oh, it was so brutal. He almost got knocked back 2 inches and had to take a step backwards.
Took a helmet to the chin.
I know. Again, it's a stupid rule. I don't care. Forcible blow to the head. That was not forcible. I don't like it. And again, Brady's towed the line with that a little bit. He definitely has. So I was surprised to see it thrown, and that was a big play in the football game. It was, and it was one of 3 instances where Bucs players lost their cool and got personal fouls. But I don't know. It's a tough one. I probably would not have liked to seen the flag thrown either on Brady there in that instance. I would not. Not in that game, not for that. I don't want to see that. So I can understand that. And I'm not starting to question Tom Brady's toughness. He's as tough as they come, certainly. But I'm annoyed that it's gotten to this in the NFL world. Look, I got touched on the chin. I got touched on the head. I want a penalty. And I don't like that. That's not football.
Again, we've seen far less than that penalized throughout the course of the year.
Definitely.
I can understand why Brady raised the question. The question is, and Sean Hockley claimed after the game that Tom Brady got in my face in an aggressive manner and used abusive language. Apparently, Brady claims he didn't curse at him. I don't know what abusive language can be. I guess you can be abusive without dropping F-bombs. It was clear he was approaching Hockley in an intimidating way, but we've seen that before. And it may just be that the NFL's new approach is thou shalt never get in anyone's face for any reason. And we're going to talk about that as it relates to the next play. But I think they're trying to take the emotion out of the game, which is unrealistic.
I don't like that
There will be
either.
moments where you
Right.
get in someone's face.
Right.
There are moments where you're getting in someone's face.
Right. I agreed. It's an emotional football game. I don't love that either. Now, again, what I will say is Brady's the only one that gets away with that. He's the only one that consistently
He didn't on
does
Sunday.
it. I know, but he didn't do it. Yeah. But it was also like, strike 758 for him yelling at the referee. So I don't have like a lot of compassion for him. But yeah, I would like to see those not called either. I would not. I mean, to me, it's like you said, it's an intense moment. You're competing, you're down. The emotions do get the best of you, and I can understand Brady yelling at the referee there. I can understand it. I'm not totally cold-hearted.
All right, same game, Ndamukong Suh, who knows a thing or two about using his feet in a way that have gotten him in trouble, whether it's pressing his foot into the crotch of Matt Schaub on a Thanksgiving Day a decade or so ago, whether it's stomping on the arm of Evan Dietrich Smith on a Thanksgiving, I think the year before that, or whether it's accidentally, because it was so cold in Green Bay, his feet went numb, he didn't know he was stepping on the injured lower leg of Aaron Rodgers. There's Matthew Stafford kicking at Ndamukong Suh. That's not taunting. That's, you kicked me, I'm going to mess you up. This is not taunting. This is, hey, I don't like what you did to me. So, the classic
What
taunting
did he not
is,
like what he did? Like what?
well, look, watch the leg. Watch the leg. He kicked at him. He's
he
kicking
didn't
at
kick.
him.
Mike, when
He
your
kicked at
leg
him.
gets jammed in,
Okay.
it comes
Chris,
back out.
Open your eyes and watch the play again.
Mike,
the left
Mike.
leg, he kicks at him.
Mike,
watch it.
Mike, I watched it 100 times. It's not a kick.
Okay, well, you need to watch it 101 times
well,
then.
here you go, Mike. I know you know everything.
Watch his leg. Well, watch his leg.
A leg,
Look.
Mike, when you roll over and somebody's smushing your leg, it then extends back out. That was not a kick. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I totally disagree with you. Totally.
Well,
It was
regardless,
not a kick.
Ndamukong
The guy
Suh wasn't
smushed
taunting
him
him.
and fell him on the ground. He wasn't taunting. I'm gonna f you up. You emmer effer. I'm gonna f you up. I mean, that is not the best look. I mean, that's taunting.
Right.
I wish they didn't call it, but whatever.
Taunting,
again.
the way that they've tried to take taunting out of the game is from the perspective of, I've done something good in your face.
Yes.
In your face.
Right.
Look at what I just did in your face.
Right.
Touchdown in your face. First down in your face. Made a
I
great
don't wanna
catch
see
even though we're
any of
down
the calls.
35 points.
Right.
In your face.
I'm with
the
you.
problem is the way that they're trying to get people to enforce it. You can't, it all goes all the way back to week 2, Cowboys Chargers. Amari Cooper gets ear-holed, and he's not happy that he got ear-holed. And he let the guy from the Chargers hear it. Or no, it was Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen got ear-holed. I don't like that I got ear-holed, and they threw a flag for taunting. It's like, I'm not taunting the guy. I'm telling the guy, I don't like the fact that you put your helmet into my ear when I don't think you needed to do it.
No, they've gone too far here.
The coaching point now isn't, don't go in your face after you do something good, even if we're down by 35 points. The coaching point is, be a robot. After the play, walk back to the huddle without saying anything, without doing anything that is directed at anyone, whether it's an opponent, whether it's an official, no one. And that's not realistic.
It's not.
Oligarchs.
It's
Listen
not.
to us, oligarchs. They're not sitting around, talking about stocks. No, this is emotion. You want them to access the emotion so they can perform at a high level. And I know they're expected to flip the switch when they leave the field, and that's reasonable. You don't want to live your life with the same aggression that you employ on a football field.
Right.
But immediately after the play, you expect them to flip back, to Bruce Banner?
I know.
No, they're still in Hulk mode.
I know.
You can't turn it off and on like that during a game. That's
agreed.
what's so unrealistic about this rule.
Agreed. That's where they gotta do some fine tuning. Maybe it's no showboating or something of that nature. But you're right. I mean, I don't like either one of these calls. I don't. Yes, it is. It's a big football game. It's emotions. Telling a guy I'm going to F you up. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what game was I ever in where somebody didn't say that to me? That's what I'd like to know. I mean, we can go back to like 7th grade football, and I had kids telling me, I'm going to F you up, Simms. Like, what? So that to me, that's not taunting. That's not showing anybody up either. That's where to me, it's lost. We've lost control of this a little bit. You know my stance, Mike. I don't want to see, what I don't want to see. And to me, this is where I thought it was going to be more clear about. Like, I caught a 5-yard pass, and I'm going to get up and show the DB that I'm the man, and in your face, and first down, I got 5 yards. Eat that crap. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see the 20-yard reception by the receiver, and then the DB makes a tackle down the field and stands over and was like, yeah, here's my man parts in your face. You got 20 yards, but I tackled you, and you didn't get 21. Like, that's where I don't want it. I'm with you, Mike. It's emotions. Of course, the quarterback's going to yell at the referee a little bit in a playoff game. Of course, hey, I don't think he really did try to kick him, but I understand him yelling and thinking that. I understand that. And it was in his man part, so you're a little protective there. It's emotions of the game. They got to figure it out, and common sense has got to be used a little bit more. Common sense is the word of the year for referees.
Maybe what Sue was saying is, that's my move. Don't you take my move. I kick you. You don't kick me.
Copyright infringement. How'd you do that?
Cease and desist. Cease and desist, Matthew Stafford. Apparently, Matthew Stafford's wife, Kelly, said yesterday that Ndamukong Suh really doesn't like Matthew for some reason. I don't think Ndamukong Suh likes anybody, so don't feel...
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett is the... Warren Buffett is the only person Ndamukong Suh likes, because Warren Buffett has taken a shine to Ndamukong Suh and probably made him a crap load of money. Hey, Warren, you're looking for another protege? I'll bring the egg and cheese biscuits from McDonald's and the Diet Cokes, and let's go.
Oh, Warren, right. Don't deal with it. You don't want to deal with this guy. It's not worth it. Don't do it.
Listen, the guy drinks Diet Coke all day long. I don't know how many he drinks, but he drinks it and he's still alive. And he eats egg and cheese biscuits from McDonald's every morning. And I think he gets them a certain way if the market was up, and he gets them another way if the market was down. He splurges a little bit if the market was up. He gets cheese on it or something like that. It's a great story. But anyway, Ndamukong Suh likes Warren Buffett, hates everyone else, including Matthew Stafford. Jamar Chase and Christian Fulton, after a long catch and run in Saturday's game between the Bengals and the Titans. There were no taunting flags, even though, every crew's different, and this was great. And there he goes. If you don't tackle him when you get your chance, bye-bye.
What a play
there
by
goes
37
Jamar Chase.
There. Yeah.
And, Christian Fulton comes in, and they get in each other's face. And look, that clearly falls within the boundaries of what they're trying to get these guys to not do.
It's worse than the other two we've watched that got penalized already. It's worse. But but this is, again, Mike, back to your point, this is the emotions of the game. I'm not mad at this. This is like, hey, it's football. I made a big play. I'll see you back here at the line of scrimmage in 30 seconds. Let's see what you got to say about it then. Like, there's not like a showing up aspect, you know.
I agree.
Yeah,
no, I agree.
Good.
But if they're going to have this rule that is horrible,
right, you
have to enforce it consistently.
Right.
If you're not gonna flag this, you don't flag Ndamukong Suh. It's that simple. So, and look, these guys are teammates. Maybe they're just trying to get each other fired up, or maybe there's some leftover. I mean, they've been high school teammates, college teammates, lifelong friends. Thanks, Pete. But at the end of the day, if you're going to call it against Sue, you got to call it there. You can't pick and choose. And this isn't like, oh, you can call holding on every play. These are things that are happening that everyone can see after the play ends. This is simple. This is like face mask. You're going to call every face mask or you're not. We all see it. So if you're gonna have this standard that applies to everything that we all see after the play ends, you can't just call it some of the time. You have to call it all of the time. And if you're not going to call it all the time, then just go ahead and get rid of the rule. Just get rid of it and let them do it. Let them be human. Let them be in Hulk mode. don't expect them to flip the switch back to Bruce Banner immediately after the play ends. So I wrote after the Ndamukong Suh thing on Sunday, the rule just has to go. It has to go because it's too hard to tell what's actually taunting, and they're clearly not enforcing it consistently.
I agree. I wish we could find a fine line of like, hey, really everything goes except like, you know, I'll play. That always comes to my mind when we talk about this. Juju Smith-Schuster ear-holing perfect, right, in the playoff game. Like, those are the kind of plays I don't. Now I've knocked you out, and I'm going to stand on top of you, you know, with my man parts. That's what I don't want to see that, and I hope they can find a way to where they can get that out of the game. You know, because I think that's important, and that's the one that we're trying to set an example for kids, is that kind of stuff. Not, I'm getting in your face. I mean, damn, I watched Pee Wee football this year with my little boy and watching him play. I mean, kids are going to get in each other's face a little bit. It's football. It's like you said, I don't care what level you're at. It's competitive. It's a physical sport. You know, you have to have something going through your blood and your brain to go out there and hit and play and be emotional that way. But I don't know. Maybe the only way is, like you said, to get this totally out of the sport.
Get rid of it. Let's be realistic. Let's not expect these guys to be robots. That's what they are trying to do. They want them to be robots. They want them to be video game play. You know, they want them to go on and off. At the snap, it's on. At the whistle, it's off. And that's not reasonable. It's reasonable physically. Stop hitting each other when the whistle blows. But apparently when the whistle blows now, it means go back to being Bruce Banner. Go back to being meek and timid and walk away and don't say a word. Don't do anything. And it's not realistic. It's not practical. It's not human.
No.
That's it. They want these human beings who play football to not be human. Sometimes taunting happens during the play, and it's not called. Sometimes it happens even when the guy you are taunting is closer to the end zone than you are, but you know that you're still capable of beating the angle and outrunning him. Here is Tyreek Hill in the fourth quarter of Sunday night's instant classic. There he goes, shot out of a cannon, 3 rockets up his butt, and the deuces thrown up. Clearly, look, he knows what he's doing. He's doing exactly what they don't want guys to do. And it was the Tyreek Hill deuces not being called consistently that resulted in the Antoine Winfield Jr. moment in Super Bowl 55, where Winfield stuck his fingers in his face, which I think was the impetus for this taunting point of emphasis. It's all there. They see it, and they didn't flag it. Chris, again, if you're not going to call it, get rid of the rule. And this is 15 yards of field position that the Bills didn't get. They could have pushed the extra point back by 15 yards.
Right.
They could have elected to enforce it on the kickoff. Either way, that's a flag that should have been thrown, and that's exactly what the NFL wants them to throw the flag on, and they blew it.
Yeah,
they blew it.
I mean, it's the inconsistency. I think that's the thing we talk about, or at least that I don't understand. Again, we watched so many games this year where, of course, that's called. And, you know, again, I sit here and I don't understand the inconsistency. But I also sit here and want to go, I'm glad they didn't throw the flag. I'm glad they didn't. You know, I don't know. No, you're not. You shouldn't be glad they didn't, because this is the rule that's been supposedly applied all year long, and they all have been coached the rules. Remember Clyde Edwards-Helaire did it on his way to the end zone and got penalized? At the guy. Yes, I know.
And so the coaches tell these guys not to do it, and Tyreek Hill decided in that moment, screw it, I'm going to do it. Even if it costs my team, I'm going to do it. So it should have cost his team. He made the conscious decision in that moment to do it, knowing he shouldn't have done it, knowing that that's the rule, and the referee, the officials on the field failed. A sky judge maybe would have thrown it. I don't know. Maybe I don't know whether the official even noticed it. How did you not, though? He did it for 2 or 3 seconds.
No, they noticed it. They just didn't want to make it a part of it. They didn't.
My point is we're either going to call the rule or we're not. If we're not going to call it, if we're not going to apply the rule, get rid of it. Just get rid of it. It's not practical. And in the moment, the human beings who are charged with throwing the flag aren't willing to do it. And you know what? You know what, Chris? Hey, let's take it back to last week. Where are they playing the game? They're playing the game at Arrowhead Stadium. Hey, we eventually have to walk out of this place. We eventually have to exit through a tunnel, and we're in Kansas City. Maybe I don't want to get hit with a bottle on the way out, so I'm not going to throw the flag here. Another reason to have a sky judge.
It's Listen, I'm torn here with this. I don't know where to say. I know it's part of the sport. It should be consistently called. I hear you. But there's a part of me, too, that I don't want this called in this moment of the football game. I don't want to see it. And again, I want the play on the field to dictate what happens, and just
got to get rid of the rule.
I know we got to get rid of the rule. I think about to me that's no different again of like Deion Sanders high-stepping in the end zone or getting close to the end zone on a pick six and high-stepping. Did he turn and look at people as he was running by them or doing that? Yes, of course he did. He's about to score a touchdown. It kind of goes back to the emotion of the game there a little bit, to where I can swallow this type of stuff. I've told you what I don't like. This one doesn't bother me as much, and I think if I'm going to err on anything, I'd rather see the referees not get involved in there and just let the play on the field dictate what happens. But I understand the frustration of inconsistency. That's a real thing here.
We've reshuffled the deck a little bit so we can get to the one that we wanted to get to, and this is the Eric Weddle hit on Mike Evans. During that process of the Buccaneers trying to come back, they went for it on a fourth down. The pass was thrown to Evans, and then there was the clear and obvious foul of the hit to the head of the defenseless receiver. Watch Weddle, pops him, draws the flag, and there's a weird little quirk in the rules. Okay, the rule is if the illegal hit, and there it is, clearly illegal, if it happens after the ball hits the ground on a fourth down play, the defense still gets possession. Now, if the ball had been popping around in the air when the hit happens, it's 1st and 10 for the offense. That they got to change that. I don't like that. Now, look, again, I don't know how many situations it's actually going to happen, but I just don't like the appearance that it incentivizes blowing a guy up on a fourth down play, because maybe you're going to get lucky and the ball's going to already have hit the ground. That's a lot for a defensive back to process. I just don't like that little quirk in the rules, because that feels like it should have been 1st and 10 Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It is a big moment. It certainly was. There's a few things I don't like. I think to your point, I don't like that for sure. The other thing I don't like is, I don't like the call to begin with. I think it too, like, I don't know if they actually called. I just heard unnecessary roughness. I wasn't sure. Was it really to the blow of the head? First off, I don't love that. Yeah, again.
That's the illegal hit. It's the helmet-to-helmet hit or the hit to the head or neck area of the defense's receiver.
Either way, unnecessary roughness, whatever they used. What I don't love there, again, is I don't think anybody's headhunting. He tried to put his shoulder into the guy's chest. He does have a head attached to his shoulder, and there's a helmet on. So, yes, his helmet hit the face mask of the receiver. So I don't love it from that aspect.
I know you don't like the rule, but it's been the rule for over a decade.
No, Mike, I know. I'm not trying to. I understand it. What I don't like, I just don't. Again, that's where I would like common sense applied a little bit. It's not an egregious. It wasn't head hunting. These are big people, and the head just hits sometimes. But the other thing I don't like about it is to like what you're talking about, where. I don't know if that even gets called if the ball's popped in the air and we're juggling it and he makes that hit. We're going to go, well, that was just a live football, and we're not going to call it. That's where I'm a little bit like, I don't know. There's a few aspects of this I don't like. To where, okay, now it hit the ground, and yes, but it hit the ground. It didn't bobble. It literally went like boom and boom. And you don't have a reaction time as a DB to know that. How does he know? The ball might, I got one hand on it, tipped it up in the air, and now I'm about to catch it and do that. So he delivers the hit. So he was fortunate in the fact that the ball went down and hit the ground so fast. But I also look at it and wonder, would the referees have even called it really if the ball was bobbling around like that either? And that's where defenders are just in this no-win situation sometimes.
Well, it's the defenseless posture, and you're in the defenseless posture during that window, and this is what they decided to aggressively enforce October 17, 2010, when we had the 3 bang-bang hits that really put front and center as the NFL was processing its epiphany from a year earlier as it relates to concussion prevention, receivers in a defenseless posture, trying to avoid them from those hits we see all the time when guys get blown up going across the middle, and it's created all sorts of unintended consequences. But the reality is, and I guess the purpose we put it in here for is there is that strange little glitch that can happen on a fourth down play where the defenseless player takes the illegal hit after the ball's already struck the ground and his team still loses possession.
Well,
Something about that just doesn't seem right.
They over self-corrected. That hit is not even in the same stratosphere as any of those Bengals hits from the Pittsburgh Steelers playoff game. That's to me, it's where we've gone too far. I don't know. Tom Brady's the reason he got hit like that. Maybe he shouldn't throw the football like that.
Right.
That's where I just get bothered by it.
Right.
Yeah.
We're relitigating cases that were resolved a decade ago. That's a hit that gets flagged 9 out of 10 times, if not more than that. The question is,
there was worse hits than that this weekend.
The
there was worse hits that weekend on the receivers.
Well, then they should have thrown. I mean, this is something that's been baked into the cake of the NFL for 10 years now, that they're protecting the receivers in situations like that. The question is, why would the team not keep possession of the ball?
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.